All right, guys. Welcome to episode 3, Texas Gulf Surfer.
Yeah, man. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Man, I am pumped to be here, and also welcome my co-host, King of Surfside, Austin Campbell. What's up, my brother?
Man, everything's good. Another day in paradise in Surfside.
It was foggy here today. Wasn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, a lot of fog. Everybody knows about the fog in Surfside from some of the contests and stuff like that. So yeah, we get some fog in this time of year, but it's because the water is still cool and the air's getting warm. So
Yeah, man. I mean, we're going to have some a good podcast. We got some fun stuff to talk about. Man, I am all jacked up on Culture Coffee from Surfside Beach, Texas. Shameless plug. Anyway, let's move on to the surf forecast. From my knowledge and the few phone calls that I've made today, it is flat everywhere on the Gulf Coast. What do you know, Austin?
yeah, there's been a little bit of surf, but it hadn't been nothing special. But it looks like this week it's building up a little bit, so we're going to have some surf coming into the weekend. So it actually looks like maybe on Saturday, looks like we're going to have some pretty decent surf, definitely in Surfside. It looked like in Port Aransas and Corpus looked like it was going to be pretty decent too. So I was looking at all the different spots, definitely I was looking here, but looking around, it looked like everybody was going to have some pretty decent surf on like the 15th.
Good. That gives us something to look forward to. And, that's a podcast for another time, and that is, what do people do when they're not surfing? Man, here we don't have the most consistent surf, but we'll touch on that at a later date. But again, they're not experiencing any surf down south, and to our neighbors to the east in Galveston, so we're just going to wait it out till next week. Just a quick reminder on the Texas Surf Museum. You were just telling me about that. Refresh my memory.
Yeah. Actually, on the 15th, the day, it looks like there's going to be some decent surf. That Saturday is the grand opening for the members of the Texas Surf Museum. So, and if anybody wants to go, all you have to do is show up there and become a member, and you can go. So it's for the members, yeah. So
and of course, that'd be the day that the surf starts to get good.
Yeah, perfect timing. They're going to do the Henry Fry exhibit and Clay Blaker.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to the more the session, so to speak, in the evening, which is the one I'm going to try to attend. And man, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm pumped on that. I know that we are talking about correspondence up and down the coastline, so bear with us on that. We're working on that, making it happen technologically speaking, but just some of the people that will be helping us with that is I spoke to him today, Jacob Burke, down in South Padre Island, and he is completely tuned into conditions and things that are happening down there. Also with his surf school in Austin, and my friend Aaron. Maybe say a little bit about that down there. That's a really cool little organization I know they have with the surfing lessons down there.
Yeah, they do a good thing. They're, if anybody asks anytime about getting surf lessons or any kind of information down in Padre, we send them to SPI Sessions.
Oh, is that what
it is? What it's called? Yep. And I did get a message from Erin today.
Good.
She's surfing in Baja with some whales, is what she told me. So
that's great.
Yeah. So it sounded like she's having a good time. But yeah, she said that their SPI Sessions they're going to start to move forward towards spring break. Get their surf camps going and everything like that. So they do a great job down there. She's a great instructor. Me and Margaret, my partner in School of Surf. Shout out to Margaret. We always talk to her. Do a little bit of sharing customers. If somebody's going down that way or somebody's coming up this way, she sends us this way. So she does a great job. So
yes, we love Margaret, sweet gal. Just kind of a thing. We're going to have David Grierson, who is a Texan expat living in Costa Rica, who's going to be our Costa Rican correspondent. I know it's kind of not in the Gulf Coast, but we have a lot of people that go down there. David's a super cool guy. He is here in Texas right now rehabilitating a golf cart crash on his way to go surfing in Costa Rica. So we wish him quick healing. David for a long time as well.
Oh, yeah. So, great. Great repair guy. I mean,
the ding dude.
Yeah,
the ding dude down in
Costa Rica.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he does great job on ding repairs. So, and I'm picky on ding repairs. So
you certainly are.
Yeah, but yeah, Man, let's see. We got some other people down in some other spots to talk to.
Yeah, we do. Frank Foyd will be joining us with his son, help me, Nate, quite a bit to keep us updated on Corpus stuff. And Rob Mesa, head TGSA judge down there. And that's going to kind of be a cool thing. You know, it's going to be, when we get all the kinks out, they're basically going to come on, tell us a little bit about what's going on in their neighborhood, their neck of the woods, from conditions to who's hot and who's not. And I think that's important. I'm trying to have this podcast tie us all together. This is a podcast for Texas surfers about Texas surfing. Our knowledge is local, but we want to learn about people in other places on the coast. So, you know, write in and tell us kind of what you guys are looking for in the direction that we're taking.
Yeah, if you want to leave a comment, you know, if you got any ideas for any shows or any topics or anything like that, just leave it down below. So we're gonna try to have a good topics all the time. Sometimes we might just come up here and tell stories or something like that. I don't know. It depends on what people want to hear. We'll get some good guests. I mean, we got lots of good stories. I mean, some of them might be good for the podcast. Some of them might just be good for like the shaping room, glassing room stories and stuff like that. But yeah, yes. We're gonna definitely try to get some guests from different areas down the coast. You know, Galveston. I'm gonna try to talk to James Fulbright a lot about his shop. You know, things are going on over there, and I think that the main thing we want to do is just give everybody in Texas surf kind of a voice of how their local breaks going and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think that's going to tie everything together for us. We're going to have a bunch of fun. I'll tell you, one guest I'm really looking forward to having. Two things real quick. Our first guest is going to be Brian Dudley. People know him as Dudley. He is going to be great to have on the show. That's going to happen next week. So we're really stoked to have him on. And then Urs Schmidt from Saltwater Recon. And I know that everybody, when you get up and you get on your knees, you say your prayer, what's the next thing you do? You get on Saltwater Recon, you see what the waves are like. That's just what we do every morning with our coffee. This guy's epic, and he's going to be fun to have on the show and tell us about cameras and things of that nature. And so I'm pretty pumped on that. Is that what you do? Do you watch the camera, or you just walk down at the end of the street?
Yeah, I usually just go, drive down to the jetty park and see how it looks or something like that. Or, sometimes you just walk out on the porch and you can hear it. So like, well, is it clean? Sometimes you can almost tell because you can hear between breaks, you can hear it either just roaring the whole time. So you're like, oh, it's probably a lot of whitewater out there. Then sometimes you can hear like crashes.
Yeah.
And then silence and then crashes, and it's real good then. So, but yeah, I mean, it's nice to have Saltwater Recon's those cameras because they're up in pretty good areas where you can see a lot. And now there's a lot of people that go out there. Shout out to Chet, Sir, our local knight, Sir Chet Davison.
Yeah,
he's real good about going out there and taking pictures on posting it on Surf Cartel and stuff like that. So a lot of times when people come in our shop and they're asking about that stuff, I'll say, hey, go to these places. Go, Saltwater Recon's a good place to go, or go to Texas Surf Cartel because, man, there's always somebody down here in Surfside posting pictures there. And then, up and down the coast, people are starting to even more. You get some other people posting stuff in Surf Cartel. So
yeah, it's interesting just to go back to Saltwater Recon and getting some content for the show. I asked him, and without hesitation, he's got maybe a half a dozen cams from Galveston and here, there, and everywhere. And I said, what is the most popular cam? And without hesitation, he said Jetty Park. And it's because of the support of the surfers, and he wants me to thank everybody for those subscriptions that we have. It's instrumental in saving gas time and money, man. You get on there, you know when to come and when's the right time and how it looks, and that's a great thing. So we're happy to kind of be networking with him. And I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted because we're currently watching the Pipe Masters or whatever this is on the TV screens. Kelly Slater and Seth Moniz.
Yeah, right now it looks like Kelly's got a 17.7.
The old code.
And Moniz is a 4.63. So right now,
sorry
Slater,
for that little distraction.
He's doing it again. Yeah, so,
Sorry.
One of these days we're going to have more cameras and we'll be switching back and forth, and there's going to be a producer over there, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to get hair and makeup for Austin. There's probably not going to be much help for me in the hair and makeup, but I think we got a lot of promise with our guy over here. Anyway, man, we want to throw this kind of topic out there, and when we have a topic, we just kind of make them up and think about them and say, hey, this is cool. But what you don't see, what goes on behind the scenes, is we spend hours of asking people questions, so we kind of have some input as to what the topic's sort of about, and it's about measuring wave heights, the age-old thing about what size waves are they? Is it waist high? Is it chest high? Is it head high? What's 2 foot, 3 foot? And just interesting in watching on TV, the Pipe Pro, they were giving a forecast, and interesting enough, they say and predict the wave in face heights. Whereas we were just talking to some Hawaiian people today, and they said, well, we measure it from the back. So it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of different takes on it. I'll be anxious to hear what Austin has to say. And I'll kind of tell you what some of the locals had to say about how we measure waves here and abroad.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking to Dougie in here. Then Dougie Tanaka, he's one of the guys shapes boards with us. He's from Hawaii, so of course they're going to measure it the Hawaiian scale from the back of the wave. He said, 3 foot wave is overhead. The way I measure it is just the way I see it, right? So if we're sitting here waiting for a wave, and here comes a wave, and you take off paddling, and you drop it on the wave, and I can see from your waist up, but I can't see your legs, and it's just your waist down's covered. That's a waist high wave. That's my opinion. That's a waist high. If you duck down and bent down and got and it went to your shoulder and. But then we get into the discussion of, is it a chest high drop? What was the wave waist high with the chest high drop, or what's a chest high drop?
So many variables, and what I found is even from ocean to ocean and coast to coast, they kind of measure it differently. And it was funny because I'm having a conversation with Johnny Rescue McGee. We love Johnny Rescue, and he sees a little different than Austin, and he likes to measure all waves from the front. And he had a pretty good point that, when you're trimming on the wave, you could be high, low. It's a little different maybe from the behind. But he likes to measure waves from the front because that's typically what we ride. And we were able to get some information from Steve Moldenhauer, a Texas transplant to Florida that runs Wavecaster down there. And they measure their waves by when the person drops in and he's standing up tall, closest to the peak of the wave, whatever that measurement is what they call on their forecast. So if he drops in, he stands up and it's shoulder high, and they're going to call it shoulder high. How many feet that is, heck, I don't know. But it's interesting.
I mean, you got different height surfers and all that good stuff. So, I'm somewhere around 6 foot 6'1", so my shoulder high might be a little different than other people's shoulder high. But I just look at each person that drops in on the wave. Like I said, if we're sitting there and I see you drop in, and if all I can see is shoulder up on you, that's a shoulder high wave. But somebody like Gary Hector, he might drop in and it might be just waist high on him, right? Because he's so tall, or somebody like that. But you can measure it by feet of the wave swell coming in, right? Yeah. I mean, that's just the easiest way to measure it is the swell of the wave. So if the swell's coming in at 3 foot swell, it's 3 foot wave. Well, how tall is that? Now, different waves, they're going to have different forms. Some of them have how many times have you been surfing on a day that you caught 10, 20 waves? And, some of them you were in the same area, and some of them were knee high, and some of them felt like they were shoulder high, and I guess that just depends on how much the water's moving, how much water got sucked out from the trough and stuff like that. So,
right. And they kind of give them everybody gets a little curve, like it's 2 to 3, it's 3 to 4, it's 3 to 5, so, and even in the forecasting, when I look at the surf captain and the different things, it's exactly 3 feet. It's, there's a variable in that.
I think, like one of them is it surf captain that changes from feet to feet to, it can either be at feet or it can be at like says waist high or something.
Okay.
Or was that swell?
Well, waist high to who? You being taller than me, waist high is different than you to me.
Right. And I think maybe it was Swell Info. One of them had that where it would change from some height to you could change it from height to
Like a
body part or something like that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But and I mean, that's always going to be the age-old thing, you know. Now, here's the deal. When you get into surf that's, you know, a foot or two overhead, you know, what are we measuring? Especially some of the guys who haven't been in like big surf a lot, you know. So it's just big, you know. I'll tell you a story. I went to Martinique. I was actually on my honeymoon. We were in Martinique, and we went to surf, and the guys told me it was kind of small. I said, "Oh, it's kind of small, you know." They all speak French there. It's a French island. It's kind of small, they said. You know, maybe 5 foot. And they said, "What do you ride?" And I said, "Oh, I ride a longboard." And they said, "Okay, you know." So I got a longboard, and I went down there and went way down the rocks and walked all the way down there, and it was at least 8 foot, you know, at least 8 foot. Now, they were still calling it about 5 foot. Oh, maybe it got a little bigger, you know, but they were still calling it about 5 foot, you know, 8 foot, maybe 8 to 10 foot, maybe at the bigger day. So that's a perfect example of I think they see bigger surf all the time.
Yes.
Right. So they're always seeing bigger surf, you know, and then you see the guys in like Hawaii, they're calling it flat or they're calling it like, you know, knee high. And we're looking at it going, man, that looks chest high and like a barreling, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
and I've been to Hawaii, and what they call 5 feet absolutely scare the heck out of me. But I was able to talk to Steve Hirsch, one of our Galveston locals. Man, he's a good surfer, good photographer, friend of the show. And man, if you get a chance, man, check his Instagram. You want to see some good pictures of Galveston and the local areas. He's got this Instagram thing. Let me see if I can put it in there.
yeah, he takes some pretty nice photos.
Really good stuff. Hurricane as well. It's Hirsch 9232 Instagram. Check that out. So his buddy is Mike, who's a transplant Texan. His son is actually Tori Meister, one of the pro surfers on the circuit, and they were telling me that some of the locals around North Shore have this kind of weird formula that they use, and that is if it's predicted to be a 5 foot swell, they double it to 10 and -2, which means it's going to be 8 foot face, which is seemed pretty reasonable to me, that math. But I understand the way the Hawaiians measure things are different. You know, if I see an 8 foot wave, it looks 20 feet to me when I'm paddling out. So,
yeah. I mean, you know, it does suck water out.
Right. So it can be deceiving.
So it's going to make it look, you know, bigger. So, I mean, it's always about where you're measuring it from, you know what I'm saying? But like Dougie, you know, what did Dougie say? Dougie said, you know, when they're at, he said if they're at Mavericks and they're saying it's 20 or 30 foot, he said it's 50 foot.
Right.
You know, so, you know, and he's been all over the world surfing, you know what I'm saying? So and that's just, you know, like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with bigger surf consistently, right? So they just, you know, maybe they get more used to it. But I still agree with what my eyes tell me is that when I'm out there and you drop in on that wave and I can see, you know, I can see your waist up. That's a waist high wave, you know? And, you know, I mean, you could disappear underneath it, but I mean, you know, you get a couple head dips in it and everything and stuff like that.
It's so subjective, and you know, it's just kind of it's interesting. I'd be interested to have everybody, you know, type in, write in.
Just leave us a comment below. Yeah,
email.
all your stuff. Just anything you got to say, or you want to talk about it, or what your opinion is on the wave height and how you measure it.
How do you guys measure them? You know,
we'd love to hear it. We're reading all those comments too.
Yeah, we read them all, and they're interesting. So, you know, I don't know. At this point, I'm just, if I get a knee-high wave in the next 3 or 4 weeks, man, I'm going to be tickled pink. And how big's that? Knee-high? Is that 3 feet?
Knee-high is about 1 foot.
No way.
Yeah. But here's another thing.
So, wait a second. You're 6 feet.
So I'm 6 feet.
Okay, and you're riding a 3 foot wave. How many inches is 3 foot? My rough math, what was that, like 32, 36 inches or something? That's about half your height. All the math people are going to kill me. So anyway, so a 3 foot wave is waist high on you.
But you know, a lot of people, their waist is pretty close to the same. You know what I'm saying? Pretty close. So it's somewhere. You know, that's why sometimes I say waist when I used to do the surfboard all the time,
Right.
and I still do it sometimes. I say like waist to rib high, and somebody's like, "Well, what's rib high?" And I'm like, "Well, your waist is down here, and your ribs up here. You know, your ribs. You got lots of ribs. I'll start with the lower rib or the upper rib. If you go to the upper rib, it might be chest high, right?
That's interesting. But it seems to be this universal thing. You know, it's ankle high, it's knee high, it's waist high, it's
Right.
chest high, it's shoulder high, it's head high, and it's in feet overhead is what it appears to be to me.
Yeah, you go double overhead.
Double overhead, and whose head? If you're 6'2" and I'm 5'8.5" on a good day with the wind blowing right, double overhead's different for different people. So, yeah, I'm interested in knowing what people got to say about that. So, kind of let us know.
And then also, like when you go check the surf, sometimes, right? How many times have you pulled up and you're like, it doesn't look that big, right? It doesn't look that big.
No.
And then
No.
we go, if it's the summertime, it doesn't matter. We just go out, right? If it's the summertime, it doesn't big. You're just like, I'm just going out. I just got trunks on. But if it's the wintertime, you got to put your wetsuit on, all that good stuff. So you decide, let's just go out anyways. And then it's bigger than it looks from the beach, right? And so, the size, you can't, it might look like it's only 1 foot, 2 foot, but when you get out there, it's a little bit bigger. But I guarantee if somebody took a picture, it's like to your shin or knee. You know what I'm saying? It just feels a little bigger because the water's up,
And it always seems bigger when you're riding the wave, just to me.
Yeah. I mean, when you drop in, like I said, there's a little trough down there.
Yeah, and I'm from Texas. I have a great imagination. I have very low knee levels, man. Knee high, peeling, waist high, man. I'm happy.
Man, this is crazy. I'm going to just say this because this is what we do on our podcast. So it snowed like a week and a half ago. Chet was pulling me behind a golf cart on a surfboard, and we were acting like fools out there. And there's a mosquito flying around right now.
I know. He's been attacking me.
So we just had snow, and yet here we're in Surfside, and now the mosquitoes are already back. So,
only in Surfside Beach, Texas.
So if we start hitting each other, we're just trying to kill the mosquito.
He keeps landing. He's like a hummingbird.
That's how it goes. So, but yeah. So anyways, back to the wave height. I think we tried to cover everything we could on it. I think everybody's going to have a lot of different opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a topic. I simplify it. I just, if I'm asking people and I'm calling people, man, is it waist high? Is it chest high? I think it's all based on an average of about a 5'9", 10 foot.
So here's a good thing. So, the guy who owns the surf shop that you might call to see how big the surf.
An expert.
So you might have, I don't know, expert. So, if you call me and you ask me how the surf is, and I tell you it's about knee high, and you come down and it's waist high. Well, see, that's good, right? It's better than me telling you it's 6 foot and glassy.
No.
Coming down
to your credit, you're fair, and you give a fair shake. God rest Bingo's soul. He always inflated his surfing forecast. We love the guy to death, but at least Austin give you the fair shake.
Yeah,
and tell you how it really
it might even be a little better. Come on down. So come check it out. But we try to, I try to just call it how I see it on, the waves and everything else. But it's going to be. I'll be interested to hear what everybody else has to say on the comments below, though, for sure.
Man, it's really cool. Just I'm watching the GOAT Slater, and right to the side of where they're interviewing Andy Iron's son and Andy Iron's wife is there. That is really cool. They still come out and support him at the pipe like that. I don't know if he just won his heat. Sorry, got off track, man. That's what happens when you have the waves and stuff playing during a podcast. But we're not professionals.
Hey, we're like I said, pretty soon we're going to have a producer over there and another camera over there. And
yes, so bear with us.
Maybe not.
We're moving in baby steps. We kind of want to move this podcast along the way. You guys want us to, because again, this Texas Gulf Surfer is about Texas surfing for Texas surfers, and that's kind of pretty much how I see things at this point. We always want to thank Austin Campbell for lending us the surf station, beautiful facility here for the podcast. Man, I know I've been around here a little bit today, and things are active, man. There's guys back there glassing, building boards. I don't know. Maybe he can tell you what's going on.
No, yeah, we've been real busy. We got, the world famous Kerry Pitts back there glassing boards. the Glaminator. And he's been back there glassing a bunch of boards. We got a bunch of boards going. Been doing a little shaping. Dougie Tanaka, we got Dougie over there. Dougie, he's a great shaper. He's been all over the place, and so he's shaping here now too. And so we've been putting out quite a few boards. We got some other boards we're glassing. It's been fairly busy this winter. We always got repairs going. I just want to apologize for the repairs of not being really fast on them for anybody, because we got all this work and all these new boards. Because the people with the new boards, they want their new boards, but we get to them. Don't worry, we get to them.
Let me give you the number for the complaint line. If your dings have not been repaired, call in and talk to Austin.
Yeah, we'll get them taken care of for you, no problem.
Hey, now's the time to do it, man, because you got a little bit of flat spell, and before the spring hits, get your boards fixed. Come in, buy a new board wherever you're at up and down the coast. Go into your local surf shop. Please buy local. Buy a surfboard, because let me tell you something. It's cold now. We're in February, but I can smell spring, dude. Can't you? It's just, I can smell it like it was right around the daggum corner. We had this nice day where it was like 70, 75. I go, oh, God, I remember what it was like. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's been nice and warm, and I think the water's warming up. Although, we know we're going to have another couple little cold fronts and stuff like that. So I would say
2 more and then we're done.
Yeah, we'll have some. So, but
well, that's good, man.
That's pretty much all we got. I think this time we're gonna have a lot of other topics. We're just writing them down. I think we're getting some different correspondents. We're gonna try to have some more information for you next time about some of the other areas.
Yep, and we are going to have a little sidebar segment coming up, surf stories. Everybody goes surfing, we're traveling. As a matter of fact, I heard something today, I'll leave it on this note, that Texans are the most traveled surfers of all of the coastlines, and it's probably because of our inconsistent surf, but we travel more than Californians, Hawaiians, Australians. We travel more than anybody per capita, so that's interesting. So,
yeah, and we had our battery died again, folks, so you can still hear us. But you can't see us. So, but don't worry, because I ordered some more batteries for our camera. So.
But you know what? Maybe we're actually better when we're off camera, because I don't have to look at our ugly mugs, and we can just say, we love you guys. Thank you for coming to the Texas Gulf Surfer. And please share, subscribe, like, and we love you. What else you got, Austin? Peace out.
That's it. Just leave us some comments below. Peace out.
Peace out.